We're joined from Bangkok by Anya Palm, a journalist based in Bangkok and an associate fellow at the Nordic Institute of Asian Studies. Anya, thank you for joining us. What's your take on this result?
I think that it was expected that it would be a yes because of the ban on political campaigning towards a no, and because the military has been using a lot of energy, putting a lot of energy into campaigning for a yes. So we haven't really had a fair debate, and there's a lot of voices that might have been useful in making an informed decision that has been muted. So I think the yes that we got yesterday was expected.
Now, tell me, the military constitution is actually supposed to only pave the way for a general election, a democratic election in 2017.
Yeah, but it has been slated as undemocratic, and that's because there are a number of clauses in the Constitution that are in themselves undemocratic. The biggest reason here is that this Constitution allows for the Senate to be fully appointed rather than elected. And it opens up for the Prime Minister to also be appointed, not elected. There's also a passage that gives the military quite wide powers to arrest people for reasons that aren't really specified. So critics fear that that could be used for political purposes. And then lastly, there's this clause that allows the military to veto and topple the government if they want to, if they feel that that is necessary, and that's entirely up to them. So with this constitution, the military is going to have much power over the democratic process in Thailand.
The democratic process, which hopefully will come in 2017, but not necessarily. Now, some are saying, and those supporting the vote will say that this will boost the economy. What's your take on this?
Well, it's a matter of stability, and there is no doubt that the military has achieved stability and peace in Thailand. Leading up to the coup in 2014, we had quite a bit of political unrest, and we had huge demonstrations in the streets, and those vanished when the military took power. So I think the critics are agitated because they would like democracy first and foremost. But if you look at the economy, it is a stable environment because there are muted voices and there are suppression, but that doesn't change the fact that the environment here in Thailand has stability.
And Anna, what do you believe is the worst case scenario resulting from this vote?
I think the worst case scenario is a little boring because I think it's apathy and a democratic deficit. I think that people here will be used to having a military government, having a government telling them what to vote and what to say and what to think, and it will suppress the critical thinking. So I think we will see a lack of independence and independent ideas.
And as far as the vote in 2017, is this something that's written or supposed to be in the Constitution?
No, but this has, from the first day, the military has promised us that they would return to democracy. So that's what they're doing, and that's what they're going to be doing. So we will, I'm sure, have this vote in 2017. But the problem now is that this election will be based on a constitution that is in itself not very democratic.
And at the moment, it just remains a promise. Anya Palm, thank you very much for joining us today. Airbus is in more legal trouble. The France-based company is being investigated for fraudulent activities, a probe that could take years to complete. Let's take a look.
Britain's Serious Fraud Office opened a criminal investigation into allegations of fraud, bribery, and corruption at Airbus. The company admitted it had failed to notify authorities on the use of third-party agents in deals it was asking the UK government to underwrite. The probe is a severe blow to the France-based aircraft manufacturer and could be exploited by the company's US rival Boeing. Airbus said it was cooperating fully with the investigation.
We ourselves detected this issue and self-disclosed it to the authorities. Management has taken robust action and is determined to resolve this issue in cooperation with the authorities.
Airbus stated it hopes to resolve the financing problem as soon as possible, but the current SFO investigation is expected to take years to complete. Worse still, analysts expect that the probe announcement could snowball, encouraging similar investigations of Airbus in France, Germany, and elsewhere.
We're going to move now to Mexico, where mudslides triggered by intense rainfall have left 40 people dead over the weekend as saturated hillsides collapsed onto homes in the wake of Tropical Storm Earl. i24 News has the latest on the devastating storm.
At least 40 people have been killed in mudslides triggered by intense rainfall in eastern Mexico. Most of them were found in Puebla State. The state governor, Rafael Moreno Val, said canine units were searching for missing people, but the number of residents unaccounted for remains unclear.
It all started by 7 in the morning. It started to boom. A tree fell, and so the family members at the house figured that all the rumble was falling on top of the house. They started to come out of the house, and as they came out, everything collapsed.
Extensive damage can be seen clearly as the mudslides buried entire hillsides before causing the destruction in Mexico. Tropical Storm Earl swept through Belize as a Category 1 hurricane. Even after it changed status to a tropical storm, it still took a toll on Mexico's eastern regions.
There are a lot of communities with needs. A lot of houses are in danger. I told the authorities, don't be insensitive. Those resources that you use for another purpose, give us a hand with a piece of land to take those endangered families to a place where a tragedy could not happen. But the authorities did not listen to me.
According to a statement by the U.S. National Hurricane Center, Javier, another tropical storm formed off of Mexico's Pacific coast on Sunday, was expected to turn into a hurricane late Monday and is threatening to hit Mexico's Baja California Peninsula.
And we're going to move now to the future, or perhaps the future is already here. IBM's Watson first achievement was winning a Jeopardy game against humans. Now it discovers a rare illness that doctors had missed, saving a woman from leukemia. University of Tokyo doctors reporting that the analytical machine took just 10 minutes to diagnose the 60-year-old woman. Is artificial intelligence changing life itself? Well, to discuss this with me in studio is Nadav Klein, CEO of VLX, to discuss exactly this. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. It's actually CTO, not CEO.
CTO, sorry. We'll make that change. So, Nadav, tell me, what exactly are you doing before we go into what artificial intelligence exactly is?
What I'm doing at my job, well, I work for VLX, as you mentioned before. We're an early stage investment firm. We basically look for companies at a very early stage, mostly in the life science and computer science realms.
And artificial intelligence, this is, I'm guessing something that you're looking into. Is artificial intelligence in our daily life more than we realize?
It is. It's actually prevalent in every single company we invest in at the moment, whether it's to a big extent or a small one. It's actually, there's a sentence coined by John McCarthy, who was actually the first person to call artificial intelligence by its name, who said, well, the minute it starts working, we stop addressing it as artificial intelligence. I mean, we
stop controlling it. We're seeing a robot behind you. Maybe you can explain to me what exactly it is that we're seeing.
That is IBM Watson. I think.
Just speak to. Sorry, you need to speak to the microphone.
Nice.
So this is IBM Watson, which has come a long way since it initially was developed, doing many amazing things that, as you said, initially we created, but now cannot control in many ways. Can you elaborate?
I don't think that's true. I think we can control everything they do. Actually, there are three main doctrines to artificial intelligence. There's the narrow intelligence, or as people call it, small. There's the general intelligence, which we're yet to achieve. And then there's the super intelligence, which is way in the future. We're currently only at the narrow stage, which is basically just very advanced machine learning. You can't really call it intelligence. We can control everything they do. I mean, the intelligence we have at the moment can only beat, is only superior to humans in very specific tasks that we train them to do. There's no one specific machine that is equal to human beings at every single task. We're about, some researchers may disagree, but I think we're about 15 to 25 years from being able to achieve general intelligence,
as you call it. So in our lifetime, we can expect maybe a major change. What can I expect? What is the farthest you can take me as seeing artificial intelligence affecting our life?
Well, basically the sky's the limit. I mean, theoretically, a super intelligent computer would be able to solve, world hunger, find out about diseases, diagnose diseases, I mean. Anything you can put your mind to, basically.
Where does Siri fit in?
Well, Siri is, that's a trick question. Siri is not really an intelligent, as the way I see it at least, it's not really an intelligent program. It's more a personal assistant that's made to understand what you ask of it, connect to the internet, and then download whatever it is you want it to download. IBM Watson, for example, is a much more sophisticated version of that same kind of notion.
So Siri isn't quite there yet, and she's under chatbots. Can you give us an example, perhaps, of some of the projects that your firm is investing in and what we can expect? Are they, at the moment, at their early stages?
Sure, I'd love to. Well, as I said before, we focus on both life sciences, both mostly medical and healthcare, and then there are companies in various high-tech fields. For example, we have a company named Omnix that's it's a pharma company. It's developing a drug. It uses artificial intelligence to some extent to model its molecules, the drug molecules. You can take another company that's Neragon, for example, doing telecommunications that's using AI to optimize the network.
So, for instance, I'm calling, and rather than have a call center answer me in India, it's all automated. That's not something our companies do, but it is something a lot of companies are trying to do around the world. I've seen some mild successions. I mean, they succeed in doing most of the things they try to do, but there's still a long way to go there. So do you see, for instance, no need for call centers in the next 25 years, as you mentioned it?
Yeah, that's a goal a lot of people are have their own.
Now, Nadav, there's always a flip side to these technologies and to these major breakthroughs. What do you think is the biggest, what should we be careful of as far as this development and the creation of these monstrous technologies?
We should keep being conscious of the way we develop things. I think we owe a lot to people like Isaac Asimov or James Cameron, or even modern day geniuses like Stephen Hawking or Bill Gates, who actually raised very, very specific. I'm sorry.
No, it's quite all right. So at the moment, you're saying that we should not be scared of anything, just be very cautious. Nadav Klein, I want to thank you very much for coming into the studio today to talk about the future, which is apparently already here. And to our viewers, thank you very much for joining us today here on the Daily Beat. For anything else, you can find us online, i24news.tv. And to join the conversation, follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. Next up is The News with Tracy Alexander. Thank you for watching.